exercises are you doing at the moment?
So most of the exercise I do at the moment is strength type work. So because I've had an issue with my Achilles, I've been focused on what do I need to do to build strength and muscle. But also I think when you hit the grand old age of menopause and all that malarkey, what I've learned is strength is more important in terms of keeping weight where you want it.
Yeah, what else do you do? Do you run, a cardio side of things?
So I was doing lots of running and was kind of buddying my sister on her marathon journey this year.
Cardio to me is, it is important to get out of breath, but I think just getting up, getting away from your desk or the sofa, and getting those steps in is just as important. It's about the movement. It's about, okay, we can go to the gym in the morning, but then we sit at our desk all day, and that's not healthy for us. And it is about just getting the movement in, the steps in at regular times, during the day. And you can get that out of breath a little bit by going up a hill or anything like that. And I think it's, walking is the best thing.
So do loads of walking. So like you, I've got a dog, so there's absolutely no excuse. You've got to get out and get a few steps in that way. So, and I actually find it's really good for your head. It's not just good for your movement, but it's good for your head and a bit of fresh air. Sometimes I listen to a podcast while I'm doing it.
So what's your why for doing it? Why do you exercise now?
So because I'm what I call an older mum. So I've got my 9-year-old, and at 51, I've got a 22-year-old who I can go and run with, do exercise with. We do loads of stuff together. I never used to, but loads of stuff together. And I want to be doing that with Oban when he's older.
I think it's really important to have a why, isn't it? I often think that if we have a reason of why we want it, is it because we want to keep up with our grandchildren? Is it because we want to be more, we're going to live longer lives, aren't we? We want to be as active. I don't want to have to rely on my kids to look after them. So I want to be as mobile and as healthy as I can, and I think that's really what my why is now.
I mean, we have an ageing population, right? So the world is ageing, and I want to age well, live well, feel well for as long as possible. And I think the other thing as well is it's about progress, not perfection, right?
Absolutely.
So, the only person you're in competition with is yourself. It doesn't matter what other people are lifting or can do. And I think sometimes people worry about that when they go to a gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you keep up with whoever's next to you? Don't worry about whoever's next to you. Do you?
Yeah, and the other thing I've really noticed is not being perfect all the time. No. I think a lot of us, I've come from a sport background, and you're trying to be perfect every day, getting things right. And I think that's what I've had to really change. And the thing I've noticed, it's about consistency. And people go, what does that mean? And to me, that is just doing something. I do have a rest day. Sometimes I'll have 2 rest days a week, but I'm consistently just doing something, and that's what really adds up and makes a difference, doesn't it?
Totally does. And I think that even if you're doing a little bit of something, at the end of the week you feel better for doing that. So it's habit making, right? Because I think one of the other things we do is we get better when we make it something we do a bit more habitually. It's like food, isn't it? So when you want to eat well and healthily, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect all the time. So if you want that kind of break at the weekend, you have your break and then you get back to it during the week.
Sometimes I don't want to go to the gym. It's the last thing I want to do. But if you just start the routine, if you just start doing things and you get in there and you only do, 10, 20 minutes to start with, before you know it, you feel good. And I think that's part of it. And that is why I exercise now, because I go in being probably, very demotivated, grumpy, but kicking in that natural endorphin, and it is in there somewhere, does make you feel so much better, so much more productive. Get there, come out, quick breakfast, and then I can get on with my day.
Yeah, so what about, you haven't exercised for a long time. What about you want to just get started and you're a bit fearful?
Absolutely.
Because you look around you and everyone else has got a toned muscle or a little bit thinner than you. So how do you get started?
Or you've never done anything in your life, and then we get to 50s, 60s and we're going, okay, I need to do this. Where do I start? I would say get good help and support and a proper program, because it's very easy if we're doing weights to get injured. I also think if you've got somebody that's coaching you. I still have a coach in my life, because that motivates me and I can see the progression and helps me not get injured. So I think, you know, even though I know what I'm doing, still important, and I think it's that accountability thing. So I would say go out there, get help, get a proper program that helps with that real motivational piece. Start slowly.
Yeah, and small, right?
Small,
so I think people
slowly
kind of see the dumbbells, see the kettlebells and think, oh God, I don't want to go for the light one. But actually that's exactly where you need to start.
It is, it's just going through the movement. You know, the muscle doesn't know that you're lifting heavy or light. It's just the movement you're going through, and that's what it recognises, and that's where you can build up on and you go from. And yeah, just get out, get more movement into your day through walking, or it's just small little steps, I think.
And then I think one of the things I've learned as well is when you go into a gym and you see the weights around you, which can feel quite daunting, just try some of the movement without weights to start with, and then just gently start to load so that and don't overdo it. Don't think I must get through this because everybody else has. Do know when to stop, otherwise you burn yourself out and then you won't go back. So just making sure.
And you don't need many weights.
No.
You know, and you can do it in your lounge, you can do it wherever, and just have a few weights. It's just going through that movement, which is so important.
When you had your health assessment, Sally, was there anything you changed?
Yeah, there was really. I didn't push myself as much as I would have done previously. I think I've come from, you know, the harder you work, the more you do, the bigger results. But actually, I think what came through it is that, you know, you've got to protect your heart at the same time, and, you know, look after it, look after your body. And I still want to be doing exercise and, you know, doing things that I'm doing as I age, and that is a little bit about protection as well. So I think it's brought me back, much more back into just doing something and being consistent, and that is the biggest thing. And I've seen, much better results because, you know, by exercising you kick in your metabolism, so you start to lose your weight and all those issues that, you know, you've been concerned with for the last, you know, couple of years or whatever else. So yeah, just all of those, and it's just ongoing actually how you feel.
So when we think about kind of setting goals and what we're trying to achieve, how do you go about celebrating progress? How do you acknowledge progress?
I think for me, progress is about being able to do something. You know, it's not always about, oh gosh, how much can I bench press or how much can I bicep curl. It's not about how heavy. It's about what my body is allowing me to do and what a privilege it is to be able to do that. And that to me is success. It's about, you know, I can still do these things. It doesn't have to be heavy, but I can still move and I can still exercise, and why I can, it is a privilege.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And for me, progress is about a commitment, getting alongside it as hard as you can, forgiving yourself when you don't, you know, make the commitment or hit the goal that you've achieved. So giving yourself a break when not everything quite hangs together, but remembering tomorrow is always a new day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think some of it's in the planning, isn't it, as well? And then when I say planning, I don't mean sitting in front of a spreadsheet and kind of being anal about it, but it is about having some intention and saying to yourself, right, this week if I want to eat well, have some of the foods that maybe help with kind of inflammation, all that good stuff. It's just planning it so that you know to get.
And I think for women, we never put ourselves first.
No.
You know, and it's about, we always look after everybody else, the kids, you know, our sandwich parents now, aren't we, that are around, and we do, and we leave ourselves last. And what I want to say is that we need to put ourselves first. We need to look after ourselves to be able to look after them, and I think that's allowing ourselves to be able to do that.